G'day, Earl at earlsyard.com. Thanks for watching today. Today I'm going to be taking you through a little bit of a video on the purposes of rolling out the lower body and how to foam roll the lower body and how it can be of some benefit for you to do so. So just a little quick disclaimer before we get started. I just wanted to say that in no way does this video form a business or professional relationship between myself and anyone out there watching the video. Any activities or tasks or practices that you see in my videos that you choose to practice on your own, they are all done so at your own risk. Okay, so now we've got that out of the way, I'm going to start with talking a little bit about what is foam rolling, why do we do it, and what's the actual benefit and purpose of it. Okay, so essentially what foam rolling is, it's using basically a foam roller or a trigger point release ball or basically any type of hard surface that you can find in theory, right? Pressing it against the muscles and releasing the tension. But specifically what's happening there. So basically surrounding all our muscles in the body, we've got something that's called fascia. And if you've never heard of what fascia is, the most simple way to explain it is to give you an example of a chicken breast. So if any of you have ever bought chicken breast or had chicken breast before from the supermarket, you may have noticed that there is a thin layer or a translucent film which surrounds the chicken breast. This is the fascia on a chicken. As humans, we have exactly the same thing. Okay, so essentially what happens is when you foam roll, you release the fascia, you loosen the fascia, which basically enables the tissues within your body, your muscles, to relax and loosen off, which increases flexibility in the muscles, which consequently increases mobility within the joints. So long as we have a good level of flexibility in the muscles, a good level of mobility within the joints, we give ourselves a better chance of going through our training properly and also less chance of becoming injured when we train or just in our daily life, whatever we choose to do, okay? So just to give you a little bit of insight, normally what happens is in a typical 9 to 5 job, sitting down for 8 hours a day, the muscles in the body become quite stiff due to the fact that the fascia has not had a lot of time to move throughout the day. So if fascia is not moving, right, it will almost solidify slowly over time and become quite stiff. But that's okay, because that's why we've got the foam roller to help us out. So today, now, I'm going to start with showing you how I basically do my foam rolling for the lower body. Now, a couple of important points that I'd like to mention before we get started is that normally when I foam roll, I would work on my tighter side first. Now, the tighter side being my left side of the body, okay? And what I would do, I would work to a minimum of 10 repetitions for each point in which I foam roll. But just for the purpose of keeping the video short and compact for today, I'm only going to be doing one side of my body, the left side of my body, as opposed to going from left side then to right side. Then what I'm going to do is I'm only going to be doing 5 repetitions instead of 10, okay, on each point of the muscle, all right? So now that that's clear, I'll get started. So the first point that I want to work on here is the underside of the foot, okay? So what I'm basically going to do, I'm going to come down, kneel down, I'm going to place the roller here in a nice steady position, perpendicular to the mat. I'm going to get the ball of the foot here, and I'm going to roll from the ball of the foot right down to the heel for 1, and I'm really pushing my weight into that roller, guys. 2, for 3, for 4, and 5. So an important point that I want to mention as well, foam rolling does not feel comfortable. It should not feel comfortable. However, if you're experiencing pain, then I advise you to stop, okay? There's a big big difference between discomfort or being uncomfortable and being in pain, okay? So there is a big difference. So long as you're aware of that, you should be okay to do this, all right? Now, the next part that I'm going to do is the tibialis anterior, or more commonly known as the shin muscle, okay? So that's this tissue here, right there, okay, guys? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start at the top, or just at the base of the front of the knee. I'm going to roll down to the midpoint here. Then I'm going to do a lateral move from side to side, and then I'm going to go from the middle down to the top of that ankle, okay? So watch carefully, guys. Another point I want to make, guys, as I'm doing this, you want to make sure that you're not holding onto your breath here at any point. You want to keep that breath flowing nice and continuously as you're doing this, okay? 3, 4, again, I'm really getting my body weight in behind it, for 5. Now again, I get that roll up right into the middle. I'm going to pop the hands side to side. I'm just going to move laterally like this. 1, crisscross. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Nice one. Then from there, I find the middle of the tibialis anterior, or shin muscle as it's more commonly known, and I'm going to work from the middle right to the base of that ankle. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, calves coming up next. One of the more uncomfortable ones for myself. Now with the calf, I'm going to work at the soleus. So start with soleus, so the bottom of the gastroc, okay? And I'm going to go from the bottom to the middle, just letting the calf relax there. 1, for 2, 3, 4. Remember to keep breathing naturally. 5, fantastic. Then find the most uncomfortable spot around the middle of the gastroc, or more commonly known as the calf. And I'm going to use the assistance of my hand to move that laterally. That's very uncomfortable, this one, okay? 2, got a lot of tender muscles at the back of the calf there. 3, 4, and 5. Some of you don't have tight calves like me, so for those of you who are not feeling too much discomfort doing this one just with the use of the hand, you can take the weight of your other leg and actually pop that on top and do the same thing with regards to the rolling forwards and back and that lateral movement from side to side, okay? So I take that away now and I'm going to work from mid-calf just up to the bottom of the back of the knee. So I want to be very clear in saying you never want to roll too close to the joints, okay? So I'm not doing the reverse side of the knee, I'm just going up to the top of the calf, okay? 4 and 5. Good stuff, guys. Okay, then what I want to do, we're going to do the muscle which basically sits just on the lateral side of the calf through here, guys. So I'm going to show you how that one works with this angle here. With this one, guys, a little bit of an awkward position to get into, but I'm just going to roll the whole thing out in one go, okay? I might move there so I don't get out of the camera shot again. Now again, another thing to point out as well, first few times you do this, if you're not really used to it, I haven't done it too much, you're going to feel like you're rolling all over the place, losing control. Don't worry, don't be discouraged, just keep practicing and you're going to get better. You're going to learn how to position your body effectively to get this work done, okay? So from here, for 1, watch carefully there, guys, for 2, for 3, for 4, and 5. So again, just to be clear with that one, that tibialis foam roll that I did was through this section here, in between my hands, and that last foam roll was here, right on the side. So they are quite similar, but they do actually form a different part of the lower leg, okay? So just be wary of that, okay? So you don't want to do the same part twice. Well, you can, it's not going to be the end of the world, but we want to be working all the fascia evenly as possible, okay? So next point now, we're going to be working onto the hamstring, okay? So again, I'm going to work from the top of the back of the knee to the mid hamstring, and then I'm going to find the point of sensitivity in the mid hamstring. I'm going to roll that laterally side to side, and then I'm going to go from the mid hamstring right up to the top of the hamstring and the base of the glute, okay? So if you watch here, what I do, I position this starting at the top of the back of the knee, and I'm going to roll that down. 1, 2, remember to keep breathing and keep the muscles relaxed as possible. 3, 4, and 5. Nice job. Find the most uncomfortable point in the middle there. Lateral movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Again, if your hamstrings are not that sensitive, guys, you can also drop that leg or that heel or that foot on there, okay? And you can use that to assist you rolling or moving laterally, okay? So again, mid hamstring underside, up to the top of the glute, top of the hamstring, bottom of the glute. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Nice one. So, inner thigh or adductor now, okay? So same idea, it's midpoint, bottom point to midpoint. I'm going to show you a new move that we do from the midpoint of this inner thigh, and then we go from midpoint of the inner thigh up into the groin space, okay? So just being careful when we get really close to the groin space, obviously that's a very sensitive area, okay? So what happens here, try and position this correctly so you can see. So I get the roller here, got my VMO here sticking out, I'm going to roll just carefully 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then I stop at the middle point. I'm going to extend the leg. See that there? My leg's extended. I'm pulling the kneecap up the quad, tensing the quadricep, okay? And then I'm going to drag the heel back towards my glute or my bum, okay? 2. Really make sure you breathe. Whenever you feel a little bit of an increase in sensitivity or feeling uncomfortable, what you want to do is just keep that breath flowing. Perform that voluntary breathing, and that's going to just allow that fascia to relax. It's going to allow you to get through this sequence a lot more effectively, okay? And in time, the more you do this, the less sensitive it's going to feel and the more pressure you're going to be able to put into it, and basically the healthier your lower body, or at least the fascia in your lower body and your whole body is going to be as a result. Okay? Did a few extra ones there, but that's okay. Again, mid, inner thigh to the groin. Just be careful. Don't go too high up on the groin. There's a lot of nerves up around the groin area and a lot of other important bits and pieces that we want to be careful of. I don't want to disrupt any of that. Good. Okay, so going to work into the quadricep now. Again, another really sensitive area. Now just to be clear, with the quadricep, we're going to start at the top of the knee here. Nowhere around the kneecap or the knee we want to be feeling pain. It's just where the quadricep starts at the bottom. And then we're going to go to the midpoint again. We're going to do a floss at the midpoint here. And then from the midpoint, we're going to go right up to the top of the thigh here, okay? So what I'm going to do here, get the roller positioned again. Actually, I'm going to do this facing the other way, okay? It's going to be a bit more effective for you to see. Hip flexor was the word I was looking for. Okay, so from here now, jump to the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, this one's quite uncomfortable. But again, heel into the bum. 1, with control, keep breathing. 2, 3, commando style with the arms. 4, and 5. Nice job. Then I go to the middle, right up to the top of the hip flexor. 1, 2, keep breathing. 3, 4, and 5. Nice job. Okay. The next one, guys, is the glute. Very important muscle in the body. Very important to keep the glutes nice and loose, nice and active, nice and strong. If you've got strong, mobile, active glutes, you're going to have a healthy pelvis, healthy hips, and it's going to prevent a lot of imbalances within your whole body, okay? So a lot of imbalances within your whole body are stemmed from lack of mobility, strength, and activation in and around the hips, okay? And this can basically be corrected with making sure the fascia around the glutes is relaxed, the muscles around the glutes are nice and even in terms of how flexible they are, how strong they are, and how mobile your pelvis and your hip area is, okay? It can eradicate a lot of problems that way, all right? And this is where it can start. So, this one's probably one of the more trickier ones to get into. Watch carefully what I do here, okay? So just remember, go through it slowly. If something doesn't feel right and you're doing it, it's probably not right, so you should probably stop. So just be wary, okay? So, have a look where my leg starts here. Alright, I'm at the top of the hamstring, bottom of the glute, then I'm going to try and turn my hip out, external rotation, then I'm going to move forward slowly, and I'm going to very slowly and carefully lower down onto my shoulder blades, okay? Now I've got pressure on the glutes now already, I'm going to use my hands to hold that position, and then from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the leg up and down, 1 while keeping pressure on the hips, on the glute, on that right side, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And once I've done that 5 times, I can release the roller from underneath. I can come back up, make my way back up, and then I'm going to pop the glute under here again, and I'm then going to just roll that same point up and down. As you can see, my thigh is turned out externally from my hip, and I'm not getting the exact reverse side of the glute, but it's kind of in between the glute med and the glute max, somewhere in between there. So effectively I'm releasing both at the same time. Cool. So another important point I want to make, guys, a common myth that people think that rolling out their ITB. So ITB, if you don't know, is the muscle that basically goes from here right up to that lateral side of the top of the hip. Rolling this section out, guys, in my opinion, doesn't do anything, okay? If you got tension around your ITB, you want to release something called your TFL, which is your tensor fascia latae, which exists somewhere around here, okay? When you find the spot, you'll know you've hit it because it is quite sensitive, okay? So a good way to find it is I pull the shorts up and I get into a similar position as if I were to be rolling out that glute here. Watch carefully. Then I'm going to turn out a little bit more. but rather than being up as high as I was before hitting the glute, I'm down a little bit lower, okay? So it's kind of just below the glute, and it's only a short bit of muscle. 2, and when you find it, you'll know, because it's quite sensitive. 3, and it can feel quite stubborn. 4, even if you do roll it out a lot. 5, so again, just to clarify guys, that one, TFL, somewhere through here, okay? The glute was up here, TFL here, ITB here, quad, hamstring, inner thigh, okay? Cool. So that's it guys, that's foam rolling for the lower body there for you. Now I just want to make a few points as well in regards to when or what time to do foam rolling is the best. In my opinion, any time's a good time to do foam rolling guys. The main thing that I would say is I see too many people wasting too much time in the gym doing excessive foam rolling for too long, okay? So just to give you an example, if I was to go and do a foam roll for my lower body before a lower body strength session in the gym, I know myself personally that I get tight left hip flexor, so I'd spend 5 minutes doing some stretches for my hip flexors and my quads and doing some gentle foam rolling for my hip flexors and my quads, and maybe a little bit for my feet as well, just to help with mobility in the feet and the ankles when squatting. Shouldn't take any more from maybe say 5 to 8 minutes alone, okay? Sometimes you see people in the gym like foam rolling for like 45 minutes to an hour. It's just not ideal. What I would say is if you feel like you don't necessarily have an issue in that particular muscle, don't waste time foam rolling it. A lot of people as well can get groin injuries, groin strains, particularly sort of if you're playing a lot of football, stuff like that, okay? So they might have a tight inner thigh, okay? So they might spend a bit more time rolling out their inner thighs, okay? Typically a lot of people that are quite sedentary office workers get tight or immobile ankles. So if you've got tight or immobile ankles, you may spend a little bit more time foam rolling out the bottoms of the feet, the tib, Ialis anterior here, and the calf, okay? That's going to help release a lot of tension and mobilize the ankle when paired with a little bit of ankle mobility exercises, which I'll cover in another video as well. And in terms of post-workout, I would say generally you might perform the same foam roll in those troublesome areas of the body than you did before the workout, but you may just go for a little bit longer. So if we did sort of 0 to 8 minutes or 0 to 5 minutes in the first one, we might kind of go for at least 8 to 10 or 8 to 12 minutes on the foam roll post-workout. Okay, you can do it post-workout, literally straight after the workout, and you can also do it in the consecutive days to follow as well. In my opinion, you know, in terms of the effect on the body, you know, you can't do too much. I don't personally think you can do too much foam rolling, but at the same time, I think you can waste a lot of time foam rolling if it's not necessary. So just basically make sure you identify what areas of the body you need to foam roll, okay? And just work on those areas and don't spend too much time on other areas which you don't think need work, okay? So if you have any questions, please leave some comments in the comment section below. If you like the video, please leave a thumbs up and like the video. Share the video with your friends if you think it may be for some benefit to them. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and I'll keep putting out a little bit more content like this in some future videos. So that's it for now. Cheers.